Hello, 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 contestants. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Neoncaster Twitch channel. I am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. It is me appearing, the human operator of Caster, the AI android. Yes. This is, we're not VTubing today, but I hope everybody is having a good day. As you can tell, I'm feeling my goth fantasy. Oh yes, with a little star on the cheek as well. We're absolutely living it at the moment because it is October, the best month of the year aside from my birthday month. Actually, my birthday's in January and it's cold and miserable. So yeah, October is definitely the way to be. I hope everybody's having a good one. For those who do not know what the Book Club series of streams is about, I love video games, but I am not what you would call good at video games at all. And unfortunately, I am definitely somebody who is enjoys when it comes to action games, I fall apart, right? But I because I enjoy video games and I enjoy video game stories in particular, I really wanted to have a show where I talked about them as media texts, because you know there is meaning and interest behind all forms of art, and we're definitely past the point that we consider video games as art. That's not really up for discussion these days. So I wanted to play a wide variety of games in my favorite genres. We normally do this as Cyberpunk Book Club, but occasionally we have a moment where we dip into the realms of urban fantasy, my other favorite genre. Yes, indeed. So yes, that's what we're going to be doing this evening. We are going to be playing Not The World Ends With You. Gosh, I delayed the stream to start. So I could remember to actually... I delayed the stream to start so I could actually go and set this up in advance so I could, like, you know, be all professional and everything. And I immediately effed that up by just entirely getting the title of the thing wrong. At least in the stream description on Twitch, it has the right video game. That is good. Also, in kind of related news, I was actually preparing to go and stream this on YouTube today, because hey, I like everybody else saw that Twitch had a bit of a breach today. I hope everybody who is watching in the future as well, who's not just watching it immediately now, I hope that everybody's watching goes and updates their password, please. I implore you to go and update your password and activate two-factor authentication so your account remains secure. That is very, very, very important under current circumstances. Yes, so because that was going on, and I'm also gonna adjust my mic a little bit. There we go. Because that was going on, I was like, hey, maybe I should stream on YouTube today, because that would be a way for me to test that works, because I've not streamed to my YouTube account yet. And B, you know, that's reasonably secure at the moment, so let's go and do that where people are definitely going to be safe not having their accounts hacked. And then as I was about to set that up, I found out that if you have not streamed on YouTube before, there is a 24-hour window before you're allowed to actually stream. You have to make the request and then you wait a day and then they give the access. So we are not doing this on YouTube today. I'm very sorry. I can't put this off till tomorrow because I have other bits and pieces going on in my life tomorrow that unfortunately are more important. So we are going on good old faithful Twitch today, but we'll definitely be trying to stream on YouTube in future. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, I suppose that's going to be the edit point for the VOD. Let's get in to talking about Scarlet Hollow. Scarlet Hollow is a horror visual novel that, as I understand, is built in RenPy, which is like a Python engine built for making visual novels. I've used it a handful of times in the past, which is really good. That's a really solid engine for making these types of games, and this game seems particularly spooky and elaborate. My copy of Scarlet Hollow was supplied actually by the developers, Black Tabby Games. So thank you very much, Black Tabby Games, for picking little old me to go and support your stream. To support your game, rather, and thank you for supporting my stream. That's the way around. Always enjoy narrative-driven stuff, and I am actually, even though I wouldn't be able to play much of horror action games, I am something of a horror fan. So I'm definitely going to be enjoying the story. I'm going to enjoy reading it through as well, since this is very narrative-heavy, and I do voice acting work. So hopefully I'll be able to give this game the spookiness it deserves. Actually, if we're going to be going full spooky here, let's not have the regular book club music. Let's go and introduce something with a bit more of an ominous air, maybe. Because I changed the hold music to be spooky. So let's go and set some spooky music here. And this gives people the opportunity to let me know, give people the opportunity to let me know what my audio level is like. That is always good to know. Looking through my options. I mean, let's see. I do have. Where's Presentiment of Death by Crushing? That's the one I want. Is it not there? Oh no. Oh no. All right. I had a song in mind and it's not in the listing and I can't find it. It's fine. We're going to go for this instead then. Gosh, I'm being a very organized host today. Apologies. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're getting some Sino Alice vibes for this. A little sad, maybe, but this game seems rather melancholy. In fact, to start off the melancholy, we're going to read what this game is about from the Steam description. Trapped in the dying Appalachian mining town of Scarlet Hollow for the funeral of your estranged aunt, you quickly find yourself at the center of a dark mystery that threatens your life and the fate of the entire town. Who lives? Who dies? And the fate of an entire town rests on your shoulders. So yes, this is going to be one of those visual novels where the choices matter, and with those games where the choices matter, not only do the choices matter, but there may be a plethora of juicy and grisly bad endings afoot. Yes, one of the classic inclusions in a visual novel, especially a horror visual novel, is some real grisly bad endings. Oh baby, yeah. I mean, I've not seen too much about the inner details of this game, but one of the key art is like these twisted humanoid figures perching in trees, staring, and I'm like, one of those MFs is going to tear me apart if I look at one wrong, right? It's definitely going to be the energy of some of this, I'm hoping. So yeah, there might be some juicy bad endings. We might even run into one in our playtime. I intend to go for maybe about 2.5, maybe 3 if we're really vibing and my voice doesn't give out. So we'll see how far we get in that period of time. I also expect what I'd like to call what a lot of people call the American Gothic. I mean, this is a game set specifically in North America, and like what counts as old or ancient in North America is very different from Europe, considering its colonialist history and when people actually moved to North America, right? So what is considered the past, what influences their ideas of ghost stories is very different to the Europe and the UK's idea of ancestors and ghosts. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of that, along with the standard like American Horror Story, I guess, style haunted house architecture. There's a specific type of that kind of build, lots of wooden buildings, where I guess buildings of that kind of period of time in the UK were the build of stone. So it's interesting contrast bits. We'll see how many of these specific horror points are ones that are specifically American in nature. I suppose because a lot of pop culture is particularly like North American in design, I'm sure I will recognize all of the references that they will throw up in terms of tropes for horror, even if they are not ones that I would personally find kinship with. But who knows? Who knows? There may be that bit of overlap. I think, let's see. I think I'm gonna make a guess as well, because if we're gonna be investigating the entire town, I'm expecting some serious typing Twin Peaks energy alongside the American Gothic, American Horror Story style vibe. I do wonder if this is a small rural town where you are somebody who's moved in as a stranger and unused to their ways and idiosyncrasies, that the kind of like small town weird that was kind of typified in Twin Peaks might come through here. We're not necessarily talking about Deadly Premonition level of like send up, I don't think, but I think there'll probably be some of that energy. We might even have some dream spaces to encounter. That would be fun. Yes, indeed. But yes, we're going to be going and giving this about a 2.5-3 hour playthrough, seeing how things go, making mental notes. So when we return from those 2.5-3 hours, we have this section here, ideas to take away, because I like being inspired by other pieces of media when I create. I do tabletop RPGs as my main form of creation in addition to streaming. And I find that I can draw all sorts of inspiration from all sorts of places, and broadening your horizons by consuming all different types of media can help you discover something new and interesting. So when we return from our play session, we're going to be talking a little bit about this game's themes and ideas and what it wants to say. Because, if this is, I appreciate games that have things to say, right? So we're going to look to see what this game has to say, and then if that can inspire us to make things going forward in this spooky month, this spooky season. Right, that's enough of me flapping my gums and not reading the story. Let's actually go play a video game, huh? Let me go boot it first, that would be important. And also, pour myself a large mug of tea. Oh, there we go. Please do let me know how this sounds in terms of levels. Of course, in my ears it's reasonable, and I'm coming through louder than the mix. Oh, but there is that. Okay, preferences. Let's just put that about there. Oh, there are voices as well. We'll see whether that is like barks or whether that is lines actually being read. I would quite like to read it myself, so. Ooh, the synth coming in? Yes. Oh. All right. So, we have our mug of tea. We have our game loaded with the spooky vibes. I hope all of you are having a nice stretch and you have a cozy drink with you again. Let's begin. My name. Oh, are we playing as ourselves? Oh, we're going to be playing as Caster. And I live in the city of Jungsberg. And I get to pick my pronouns. Always love this as an option. Love to let myself be they, them in a video game. Ooh, and we have these options as well. So we have powerful build, strong, athletic, pinnacle of fitness, can shotgun a root beer in 3 seconds, which, ooh, impressive. Mystical, strange and unusual. You see the threads of reality in a way others cannot. Talk to animals. You can talk to animals. Animals can talk to you. A gift and a curse. Street smart, smells BS, also good at BS. No door can hold you. A keen eye, observant, picks up on vibes, understands others' perspectives. The book smart, you know a lot of quote-unquote fun facts. Research is your favorite activity, you're a straight-A student. And hot, attractive, charming, people either want to be with you or be you. Well, in kind of like mystery, like tabletop RPGs, and I have the option of kind of building my character, I'd be building somebody who is both street smart and with a keen eye, so we're going to go with those options. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particularly nasty bump. Oh, I love that most of these could arguably be personal traits, and one of them is just talk to animals. Yes, absolutely. Also, welcome Dark Dragons in. Good evening. Please do let me know how my audio sounds in terms of my levels versus the video game. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particularly nasty bump. You feel like you'd only just managed to start drifting off, and now here you are, awake again and still exhausted. Audio seems fine. Thank you. For a moment, you're hazy on the details of exactly where here is, confusing the bus with the many others that came before it. But as your mind continues to reassert its existence in the waking world, the past few days come back into focus. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and seedy depots that feel unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of her mother, your aunt, seems like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Fortunately, the end of your long journey is in sight. You're almost in Scarlet Hollow. So anyway, as I was saying... Oh, it's a bit more like, bruh. Oh no, he's still here. He's been sitting next to you for the past 5 hours, talking at you without pause. You're not sure he even stopped when you started to doze off. At first you thought he was just being friendly, but that was several hours of one-sided conversation ago. I was up in Maryland, looking for work, but mostly messing around because I was a dumb teen. Me and my buddies were doing our usual prank stuff, you know, pushing joggers into the harbor, that sort of thing. Wait, what? Pushing joggers into the harbor? Yeah, you know, teen stuff. So this girl comes up to us swinging her purse, yelling about how she was gonna call the cops or whatever. It was hilarious. She actually hit my friend, and he said it hurt a lot, so I guess she was mad. She was mad, and not just playing. So she kept swimming, and soon enough she lost her balance and fell into the harbor all on her own. We didn't even have to push her. We had a good laugh and fished her out, and her phone got soaked, so she couldn't call the cops on us. We ended up hanging out all day. She kind of became my girlfriend after that, and we've been on and off for about a year, so it's pretty serious. Though about 5 months ago, she tried to break up with me for real, and geez. You ever get so mad you just want to, kill somebody? Stop trying to get the rise out of me. Huh? Stop what? Whatever it thinks you think you're doing right now. You know what I'm talking about. This whole corner a stranger on the bus and try to make them uncomfortable act. I'm not playing along. Good evening, Creative Blood. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. All right. Maybe I never really wanted to kill her, even if I threatened it a little bit. Anyway, she's giving birth to our son right now, so I'm trying to get out to Virginia to be there for it. Wait, she's pregnant with your kid, and you... The straights are not okay. But I don't know if I'm into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus to New York or something instead. I've always wanted to go there. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with you? Your girlfriend is giving birth right now. And you're thinking about ditching her to go and have fun in New York. After she tried to break up with you and you threatened to kill her? Hey now, I never threatened to kill her. You just told me you did. Okay, maybe just over text, just a little. But fatherhood is like scary. Plus her mom is there, so it's not like she's alone. Her mom doesn't like me much, so I'd probably just make things super stressful. Get in the sea, leave. She'll understand, she's chill. Anyways, where did you say you were headed? I didn't. No need to be nasty, I was just asking. Not like I'm gonna follow you off the bus or nothing. So, if you ain't getting off at my stop, you must be headed to Scarlet Hollow, right? Or the Holler, as they call it in these parts. That's the only other stop till the bus turns around. I ride it pretty often, so I'd know. Almost nobody goes up that way, though, come to think of it. Man. I had a couple of buddies who went up there to work in the mine. There's this coal mine up in the Holler, you see, and there's always a job listing or two on the boards around here. Never wanted to do that kind of thing myself. I like my lungs the way they are, thanks. But my buddies got desperate enough to try it. Haven't heard from them in a while now, though. Now I think about it. I should see if they're on Facebook. See how they're doing up there. Hope they didn't die. He looks back at his phone, for once focused on something other than you. Oh, this is me. It was lovely meeting you. Hope you don't get too bored without me around to talk to. Here, I have something for you. The stranger rifles through his pack before presenting you a dripping bag of peanuts. They're boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back. I noticed you haven't eaten much, so I figured you could use them more than me. Sorry, bud, Facebook is down. Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, it came back, but yes. Plus, they dripped all over my bag, so I don't want to carry them anymore. No, thanks. You put your hand up to say no. I'm not really hungry. There's still a good 45 minutes left in your journey, pal, assuming nothing goes wrong. Best to have them on hand. The young man sets the peanuts down on the empty seat next to him. The juices dribble out through the bottom of the bag and into the upholstery, instantly soaking it in peanut brine. And with that, I leave you. Safe travels, friend. Ugh, gross. And just like that, you're alone. The stranger's peanuts soaking into the seat across from you. I hate this man. I'm glad he's gone. I agree, Dark Dragon's Inn. Maybe you can finally get some sleep. Next stop, Scarlet Hollow. End of the line. Almost there. The bus finally comes to a stop, its brakes squealing as it deposits you in front of the Scarlet Hollow bus station. Well, the sign reads bus station, but calling it that feels disingenuous. At best, it's a kiosk. Though, for a small town like this, you're amazed there's so much as a road, let alone as a bus that drives on it every week. The driver quickly shuts the doors behind you and starts the engine, kicking up dust clouds as he pulls away, eager to leave you and this place behind. Hey, Castor. You instantly recognize the worn young woman from the few public photos on her Facebook page. She's your cousin, Tabitha, and she looks annoyed to be here. Let's give her my condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss, Tabitha. Yes, great. Thank you. Let's get back to the estate. I don't want to spend any more time down here than I have to. Your cousin turns and motions to an old BMW parked near the bus kiosk. You follow her, clambering into the dusty relic. Oh, also thank you for the follow, TJ Bask. I appreciate it. It doesn't take much driving before the only signs of civilization are the car you're in and the road you're on. Tabitha maintains an icy silence as she focuses on the road. Tip. No, this is meta text. Dialogue options labeled Explore usually can be taken without advancing the story. They can impact relationships and unlock story paths. How are you holding up? Fine. You don't seem fine to me. Look, I know a bluff when I see one. You don't have to hide how you're feeling around me. We're family, even if we've just met. She sighs a particularly heavy sigh. Look, I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine, really. Tabitha stares straight ahead, her expression tense and icy. Have we ever actually met before? I'm pretty sure this is the first time, right? Yeah. You have your mom to thank for that. Or had, I guess. Is there bad blood between us? I'm sorry, but is there bad blood between us? All I know is that my mom left and she was mad at this side of the family, but I don't know much besides that. Your cousin stares ahead, her expression icy. So, the funeral. It's on Sunday, right? Yeah, like I told you. Need any help planning? Do you need any help planning? If you ever need help with errands or scheduling, feel free to ask. I know this stuff isn't easy. It's actually been fine. Just needed a coffin and somebody to dig a hole. Tabitha stares straight ahead. I'm not gonna say that. That feels tactless. You decide to sit in silence with your cousin as the car eases up the steep mountain road. Taking a sip of tea. And here it is, the Scarlet Estate. Though it's seen better days, its crumbling elegance is not lost on you. Someone used to cramped apartments in grey cities. Your mother told you about this place many times before she passed, always with an anger burning beneath her words. The faded majesty you once imagined doesn't quite compare with what's in front of you, a jarring blend of opulence and ruin. As you stare at it perched on the crumbling cliffside, you can't help but feel like something that should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. As soon as you enter, you're hit with a blast of dusty air. Everything in this room has been here for much longer than you've been alive, each object cemented in place with layers of dust and cobwebs. You can hear the doors creak on their hinges and the aches and moans of ancient floorboards as the house itself sways in the wind. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. If you know what's good for you, you'll stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen. And, hallways, I guess. But only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. I'll show you around so you know where it's safe to walk. You can leave your bags here for the time being. So, you live here? Yeah, and I'm letting you stay here for free. So mind your manners. Or did your mother not teach you about those? Shall we take our tour? Follow me. You put your bags down and follow Tabitha through the long, dusty hallway. She delicately steps over holes and tears in the floor, and you do your best to trace her steps. Kitchen. Only on Wednesdays, a woman from town comes in and does the cleaning. Her name is Janie. I wouldn't recommend socializing with her. She'll talk your ear off. If you need any food, there's fixings for peanut butter and jelly. Don't touch my mac and cheese or my ice cream. Those are off limits. Oh, and you can also access the garden through here, but it's pretty wild, so I wouldn't if I were you. Interesting. I could lie. I mean, it has like the kind of old school like Aga metal stove, which is pretty nice. So yeah, let's lie. This is so nice. It's so much bigger than what I'm used to in the city. Is that a kitchen island? It is. Thank you. I might want to eat something other than PB&J this week. Is there somewhere in town we can get groceries? Well, aren't you fancy? Yeah, there's a general store. There's also a diner. I usually order my food in bulk online though, so I wouldn't be going with you. Sweet, thank you. Cool, good talk. I mean, I'm not gonna say either of those things. Well, fine, I'll butter up. Awesome, I love PB&J. How did you know it was one of my favorites? That smile can't be real. That smile can't be real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't. But good for you. Alright, what's next on the tour? Bathroom, follow me. Great, it's been hours since I've gone. As the two of you leave the kitchen, you pass by a tuxedo cat sitting on the countertop. Is that your cat? What's its name? Frou Frou. Do not try to pet her. If she wants to be pet, she'll let you know. Okay, let's leave the cat be. I want to keep my fingers intact, thank you. You decide to follow Tabitha's advice. Shall we move on? The bathroom awaits. Fails to mention Frou Frou is judging you. I think it's implicit that Frou Frou is judging me. You once again follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. Maybe after a few nights it'll get easier to navigate these spaces, but for the time being you feel lucky to not have fallen through the floors. Guest bathroom. Not too much to show, it's a bathroom. I'll wait outside. Do what you must if you must. It's a nasty, wretched bathroom. Piles of junk sit untouched in the corners of the room, and mystery stains paint the floor. Let's lift that toilet seat, baby! Bugs skitter from the bowl as you lift the seat. I got it. I'm not gonna hold it in. You'll die. The toilet is a toilet. Sure, it could be cleaner, but your business needs doing, and this is as good a place as any. You do what you must and rejoin your cousin out in the hall. Next up, guest bedroom. Last stop on the tour, follow me. I mean, there were those additional dialogue options, but it feels painfully weird to try and talk to my cousin while trying to take a piss through the bathroom door. No, weird. You and Tabitha briefly return to the foyer before climbing the stairs and reaching the guest room. The room smells old. Dust, mildew, wood rot, it has it all. A week of sleeping in this place might give you permanent lung damage. This is where you'll be staying. The linens are fresh. I had Janie wash them last week. I had to endure her half-hour rant about her kid to get her to do it, so you'd better be grateful. The closet is full of old family stuff, so you can't hang your clothes up, but you can use the dresser. It should be empty. What's with all the boxes? Old family stuff. Do you need help moving them? Tabitha eyes you up and down for a moment. No. Not a lie. What a great room. This is way nicer than what I'm used to. I can't say I'm surprised. Each and every piece of furniture in this room is a genuine antique, handed down through the family for generations. This is not an IKEA bedroom or whatever such nonsense you're used to in the city. Pretentious. Who used to sleep here? When? This house is almost 150 years old. Many, many people have slept here. And now you'll sleep here, carrying on the Frian tradition of bedrooms being slept in. I guess I'll start to get settled. Follow me. I'll take you back to the foyer so you can collect your belongings. This concludes our tour. I'm afraid I must return to my duties, so you'll have to entertain yourself for the rest of the day. Don't expect to see much of me. I like this cousin, very alike when I'm done with people's shit. I mean, I guess. She seems, I assume she's self-aware about the fact that, dragging someone, I guess, for like an entire day by bus, to stay here is going to be just generally really hard, especially for a funeral. So in some ways, I think she's maybe being unnecessarily hostile, although she's grieving, so, you know. In fact, actually, let's bring this up, because if she keeps being like this, that'll be really annoying. I don't know what happened when my mum left, but it's nothing to do with me. You asked me to come here, but you're acting all pissed off that I came. Can't we start fresh now that it's just us? Okay. I'm sorry I've been testy since you've gotten here. You've been fine. I'm just under a lot of pressure right now. Which I understand. Just, yeah, don't take it out on me. Because, you know, it's one of these things where, like, grieving can be really hard. It doesn't give you an excuse to be an asshole to people that didn't deserve it. So, please, just stay out of my hair until later, okay? I have work to do. What kind of work do you do? I run the coal mine, same as every Scarlet who came before me. Except for you and your mom. It requires a lot of time and concentration, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't keep me for long. I didn't know we owned a coal mine. We don't own the coal mine. I own the coal mine. Your side of the family forfeited any claim to it years ago. I mean, reasonable. This sounds boring. Fucking girl boss. No, I'd rather be silent, thank you. Whatever your thoughts on Tabitha's workstation might be, you decide it's best to keep them to yourself. Is there anything else you'd like to bother me with before I leave, or are we good? I won't keep you. Alright, I won't keep you, but we should hang out when you get back. More female mind drivers, clap emoji. Yeah. Oh, actually, while we're on this topic, like working class owned mines owned by locals and the working class is actually something of a really big sticking point in the UK. Coal mining used to be one of the major exports of the UK, especially in kind of like the Midlands and the North. And entire towns, you know, kind of like were built around the fact that they were a mining city and heavy industry and like steel milling and things like that. And as technology moved on, so the need for coal and for steel lessened, and as those mines dried up, the richer people who owned those mines tried to close them, and the government tried to close them as well. That stripped the livelihood of a lot of working class people in like Wales, especially actually Wales and the Midlands. And there was, you know, a massive political to-do about it. There is a pretty good but rather sappy movie called Pride, which is about a lesbian and gay community in London who tie themselves politically to a mining town in Wales to kind of like support them in their endeavors. Real sweet movie, real endearing movie. One of my favorite post-rock albums is based on the Coal Strikes, Weird But True. I can believe that. You know, there's a lot of like British socialist history or British working class history that has tied itself pretty inextricably with rock and punk music, so that's not a surprise. Me personally, I definitely recognize Every Valley by Public Service Broadcasting. Thank you for letting me know. I will actually make a mental note of that to check out later. I shall have to remember. But yeah, me personally, because this has actually come up a couple times in my life before. Back in the day, I used to be a journalist, and I was tasked with writing a story about like one of the last coal mines in Midlands closing. Oh, thanks for Discording it to me, Dr. Gunzen. I appreciate it. And so I wrote the story with the spin that historically coal mining was actually an incredibly dangerous job. And even though it's the end of an era, it is a signal to a new era where people are looking into new forms of energy sourcing and fewer people, you know, dying in coal mines. And I was very, very strongly told to rewrite that. I butted heads with my editor for a bit over that because I kind of figured that my perspective on it was pretty reasonable. But yes, it was supposed to be a nostalgia piece about the kind of like historical like coal strikes, which I can understand, even though I don't personally agree. Anyway, enough about that. Your cousin leaves through the front door, and now it's just you and this sprawling, decrepit estate. Let's go make myself a motherfucking PB&J. Much better than a bag of peanuts. You haven't had anything to eat all day. The only things louder than your stomach right now are the creaks and moans of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds like exactly what you need to take on the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, ready to graft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting task, given the state of the place, and the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh the fear of food poisoning. To get started, you'll probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, plates, and a knife. All right, let's search this pantry and find a bunch of cockroaches. A dead mouse! Yeah! Tabitha sure loves her mac and cheese. That's a lot of bread. What kind of bread would that have to be where you could store it en masse like that and have it not go bad? Yeah, how out of date is that bread? Exactly, Twinewell. I agree. Also, good evening. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. American bread. American bread is invincible, apparently. You squint in the darkness of the pantry. Behind the molded bread, well, there we go. It's inedible. Behind the molded bread, a single book lies forgotten, a thin layer of dust collected on its cover. You pick it up. American bread doesn't fucking mold. Calf's brain aspic. Teddy's favorite. Serve it on toast or with plain crackers. You flip to a bookmarked page. Both calf's brain, yes, and aspic are unappetizing enough on their own. And you can only imagine how vile the combination of the two would be. What kind of person would call this their favorite food? No wonder your mom ran far, far away from this place. You shut the book and put it back in its place. All right, let's take the bread. You pick up one of the non-moldy loaves of bread. Great, one step closer to a satisfying snack. All you need now is the plate, a knife, and the PB&J itself. We'll take the peanut butter. GIF peanut butter. The king of nut butters, and only 3% of each jar is mashed up cockroaches. All you need is some jelly, plate, and a knife. This game loves nuts. Yes. I do wonder if I would have had a extended number of dialogue options if I actually had the bag of boiled peanuts with me. I like peanuts and peanut butter, but I really wouldn't take a dripping bag of brined peanuts from a strange man. That would not be the vibe. It would probably be drenched in LSD. You close the pantry door as best you can and turn back to the rest of the kitchen. And let's search the fridge. As you approach the fridge, your eyes catch a note taped to the door reading, "Janie, stay out," in all caps. Below it, in separate handwriting, are the words, "Okie dokie." Well, there's the ice cream. It'd be a very expensive bag of peanuts and a surefire way of making an interesting travel story. Yes, no, LSD is a very expensive drug. I guess what kind of crossed my mind, you know the fighting game commentator Sajam? You may or may not. He once told a horror story on stream about how at a particular event behind the commentator's desk, somebody had left like a bag of like apple slices that were apparently had a small amount of juice in the bag. And one of the commentators ate the apple slices because they assumed that they were supplied at the table along with the bottles of water and so on and so forth, and began tripping incredibly hard while they were trying to do their job. Yeah, the fact that, you know, nobody would do, nobody would like put like drugs in like Halloween candy. That kind of like scaremongering is very, very irrational. That's a very expensive thing to give to children. But I could definitely see somebody maliciously trying to poison an adult. Might not be LSD, but you know, there are definitely other drugs that people use to lace food and drink that exist. And that man was a psychopath. You open the fridge. You already feel a deep urge to wash your hands, even though you have yet to touch anything other than the handle. I'm not going to examine that old takeout, thank you. I'm just going to grab that jelly. You reach for one of the unopened jars of grape jelly, carefully checking its expiration date. You breathe with a sigh of relief when you realize it's recent. This was either purchased specifically for you, or the jelly is one of the few things in this kitchen Tabitha actually uses. Oh, for sure, doping syringes happens for all sorts of not good reasons. I'd be down for LSD peanuts, though. Yes, I think in a controlled environment that might be reasonable. LSD is a bit too strong of a drug for me to take. Not that I take any drugs at all, John Twitch. Please do not send me to jail, Jeffrey Bezos. Okay, let's examine the takeout. Oh, Lord. Bad. Why did you do that? What were you expecting? This takeout container is disgusting beyond words. A liquefied mass of wholly congealed in its styrofoam shell. You can't even tell what it used to be. The substance doesn't just smell bad, it smells ancient. Your body reacts before you can even register what you're doing, compelled by a deep primal disgust. You shove the container back in the fridge, pushing it into the depths of the shelves and out of your mind. Hopefully you can forget it exists and move on with your life. You return to the kitchen, closing the fridge behind you. What am I missing? I need a plate. This cabinet must be where Tabitha keeps the dishware and, oddly enough, the utensils. This is a lot of... Fun fact, parts of Canada are legalizing ketamine for therapy treatments. I mean, I'm sure there's actually a whole bunch of reasonable medical applications for a lot of drugs used in proper measurements and like administered by a professional. So that's not entirely wild, but it is a signal of a new era, I suppose. Examine the mug. I was blown away at Blowing Rock, North Carolina. So your aunt and cousin actually travelled sometimes, even if it was only a few hours from the estate. Maybe you can route your return trip through Blowing Rock. It might be nice to see the local sights before heading home. I know, right, lewd? Right. You grab a plate and a butter knife. Making a peanut butter sandwich is delightful, but I would actually like to speak to another person. This is the last ingredient you need to make your PB&J. Time to get to work. I'm going to approach Frou-Frou. The cat hisses at you as you draw near, but remains firmly in place. This is clearly Frou-Frou's spot on the counter. Understood. You back away from Frou-Frou, try not to make any sudden movements. You're here for a funeral, no talking. I mean, you know. I would like to get to some of the horror that isn't just expired food in the runtime. If some of those options seemed really intriguing, I do implore you to go and get the game for yourself and try it out. It is about £15. Despite the state of this horrendous kitchen, you have successfully combined your 3 ingredients to make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Congratulations. You can feed yourself. A job well done. All of that hassle, and it took you less than a minute to eat. The rest of the day lies in front of you. Let's check out the garden. This garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. You don't think you want to go out there after all, or even up to date on your tetanus shots. You close the door behind you and return to the kitchen. Congratulations. You've eaten and have a full day ahead of you. What do you want to do next? I mean, explore, doesn't move the plot forward, so let's move the plot forward. There's not much left for you to do here other than head out and explore the town. you do just that. If you'd have known if you'd have known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you'd probably have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. That is the true curse of PB&J. It's quick to make by comparison of alternative options, but eating it just goes so fast. I understand. I like to have peanut butter bagels most mornings, and the process of toasting that and all that just to go and eat it in what feels like a minute is definitely, a thing. Then again, maybe it's the perfect time. It's really pretty out here. Finally, you made it back to town. The holler, as the guy from the bus called it, has probably seen better days. It still has the feeling of an idyllic country town, but its sidewalks are cracked and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. Ooh, a pug. Gretchen, come back. Quit bothering the strangers. Sorry about that. Is she, like, kind of a bit valley girl, I guess? She seems young. Sorry about that. Gretchen can be, like, very slippery when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause havoc. Good evening, Sensei Trash. Thank you for hanging with us. I don't deal too well with dogs. Which is true, I don't deal well with dogs at all. I know that dogs are like one of the internet's most favorite things in the world. I can't physically touch one, but they are fun to look at. I am doing fantastic, Sensei Tash. Don't worry about it. Maybe she can help change that, though. If you'd like, you can try petting her. It might make her seem less threatening. Nervously try to pet the dog. You take a deep breath. You can do this. It's just a little dog, right? You reach out and tentatively pat Gretchen on the head. Her fur is surprisingly soft and warm. Touching her is a not unpleasant sensory experience. She snuffles and wheezes in excitement. As you pull your hand back, and you pull her hand back quickly before she can snap at you. You fool, big dogs are so much easier. Nope, big dogs are just as bad. I mean, so it's not necessarily that they would bite me, it's just that they are just full of, like, dog slime, and I don't want it on my body at any point ever. Dog slime and hair, absolutely not. Nice, look at you two hitting it off. You'll overcome your fears yet. But where are my manners talking to you for this long without introducing myself? I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral? I'm gonna lie. No. I've never. Valid, my pup would be a bad combination. Like, those are the two top breed description items. Yes, No thanks. Your dog is cute in photographs, but I would not be able to deal in person. Nice try. You probably could have fooled me if it weren't for those sunken eyes and rigid cheekbones. The scarlet blood runs thick. You must be Tabby's cousin, right? That's the only person who I can think of who would come to the town for the funeral. How's she holding up? To be honest, I've been a little worried about her, all alone up in that big house. I don't think she's doing too well. She's been icy, but it feels like she's putting it on as a front. She's always been a little rough around the edges, to be honest. It's always been hard to tell if that was the way she is or she's been putting on an act her whole life. To think she's been up in an old mansion all by herself. It'll probably be good for her now that you're staying here, even if she doesn't think so herself. Thanks for letting me know, by the way. How long have you known her? Oh, quite a long time. The town's really small, so everybody's known everybody else for as far back as they can remember. It sounds like this family doesn't give a single F. Yeah, I mean, if they're like rich and own the coal mine in a town as small and poor as this, I don't know whether the relationships with the rest of the family would be particularly positive. Tabby and I got a little close when we were both in the school's production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I was Puck and she was Mustard Seed. Good evening, Miss Peach. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us. As you might have expected, she was more than a little prickly, but I managed to soften her up a little bit in the end. But then she graduated and that was that. Oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. I was just on my way to the diner for coffee, and they've got amazing biscuits. I know an American thing. These biscuits are not our biscuits. They are savory scones. Yes, I am fluent in American now. Good. My treat. Fluent in American, I am. Turn the volume down a little bit. Sorry, peaked there. Apologies. The pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast food hangs heavy in the air. In contrast with the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patrons realize that a stranger has entered the establishment. Hey everyone, I'm Costa. Just in town for the funeral. Before anyone can respond, you and Stella casually slide into a booth, pretending the whole town didn't just gawk at you like a sideshow attraction. L'étrange. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about Twin Peaks vibes, and as I understand, especially in a diner, very, very that kind of energy. Looks like your entrance was a little more dramatic than you were expecting, huh? Folks around here don't meet many strangers as is. And with who you're related to, well, let's just say you'll be the talk of the town for a while. As you settle into the booth, you can't help but pick up some of the murmurs of conversation around you. Stella pets Gretchen while you take a quick look around the diner. At the counter, two policemen and a woman you assume to be the owner shoot sidelong glances in your direction while whispering to each other. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Miss Peach. I really appreciate it. Vivian's kid. Never thought we'd actually meet him. Looks so much like her. Oh yes, those eyes are unmistakable, and that haunted look. I always thought it'd go away when she finally got out of this town, but I guess unhappiness was baked into her DNA. A young mother and her syrup-stained child sit at the table across from you. Mummy, who's that? Don't stare, Tulip. That's Miss Tabitha's cousin. Oh, so that's why they look so sad. I would look sad too, if I had to have Miss Tabitha as a cousin. Do you think Tabitha's cousin is me too? I don't know. You'll find out next time I go visit Miss Tabitha. Are you going to finish your pancakes? They're almost cold, sweet pea. And we've got to get home and help Daddy. In a far back corner, a man sits alone at a table, sipping coffee and reading a paper. The strangers who wander into town, never gorgeous blonde ladies of an appropriate age. As always, coal boys, punks, and whippersnappers. Lastly, a group of coal miners sit hunched around the corner booth, steadily scarfing down heaping plates of food. So that's the boss's cousin. There's a funeral this week, if I'm remembering right, for Miss Old Pearl Ann. May she rot in peace. Oh, let the lady rest, Lloyd. One should speak ill of the dead, no matter how foul they were, especially before they've been so much as lain to rest. If you'd been around her in her heyday, you'd be speaking ill too, Tommy. Sick burn. Tabitha's gonna need cream, and she's not even present. She's right. Nastiest woman I've ever met. That Tabitha is a blessing compared to her.
Curse the whole lot of them. May every Scarlet burn in hell.
Oh, rip. Fucking. That's enough of that. Well, hello, sir.
Hey, Stella. I went ahead and fixed you up a coffee.
I gracefully place a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Aw, shucks, Avery.
And here's some bacon for the little lady.
Gretchen sniffs at the bacon and digs in.
Anything for you?
I'm gonna order a biscuit and a coffee. could have a biscuit and coffee, please? I heard they were really good.
Best in the country.
Avery pours the fragrant brew into the empty mug in front of you. They linger after pouring your coffee, turning to you nervously.
Oh, and sorry for your loss. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone.
Glad you took my advice with the biscuit. You won't regret it. Anyways, the funeral's not till Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. I'm trying to think if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night, so that's a fun thing to look forward to. And then this weekly Sunday potluck. That should be right after the funeral too, so it'll be a special occasion. Cool. Sounds neat. Maybe I'll check some of those things out. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. As for the day-to-day, any idea how to kill time for the rest? Any idea how you want to kill time for the rest of the week? Something's telling me this is a loaded question and you've got something in mind. Was it being that obvious? My job means I spend a lot of time in the woods with a camera, and it's always better than when someone else is there too. Before Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow.
Here's your biscuit. When he says it's on the house, she sends her condolences.
Oh, you didn't have to do that. Looks great.
No worries. Hope you enjoy it.
You pick up the biscuit
It's delicate and fluffy, and nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You take a bite and it melts in your mouth, as if nothing were but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough.
Oh, wow.
Truly, this is the perfect biscuit.
Whoa, this is a really good biscuit. Wow. I'm so glad you like it. Avery lingers at the table for a moment.
So, has Stella mentioned she's famous?
Oh, Avery, I'm not famous.
Look, if you're not going to go around tooting your horn, you know I'm going to do it for you.
Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. Well, aren't we all? Aren't we all, Stella? Some of us have to settle for Twitch, because YouTube won't let us stream today. Wow, that's rad. I've never met a YouTuber before. Lie. I'd love to check out your channel at some point. Aw, thanks. It's nothing much. It pays the bills, but it's mostly a passion project, you know? Whoa, okay, shit. If she's a YouTuber and it pays her bills, then she's pretty big. Earning money back from streaming is like pulling teeth.
She's selling herself short, Caster. Her stuff is amazing. She hunts cryptids. I think the best video to start with would be the river one. Not the lake, but you know, the controversial one.
Oh yeah, the Catawba River runner. I didn't think much of that footage at the time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So the River Runner is a cryptid that's known only from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts thought they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River, and that's all I had to go on. It pays the bills. She's basically PewDiePie. Yeah, I mean, I would hope that she says the N-word considerably less. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows you a clip of something in the river. Some folks said it was a beaver, but if that was the case, it'd be like at least twice the size of any beaver I've seen. I also had people saying it was a dog or even a capybara that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. I'm still not sure what it was. And I'm the one who saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. Do I ruin it? Do I ruin it? That's the most good description right there. No way that's a beaver or a dog. And there's no way a capybara would be swimming in a river in the mountains of North Carolina. Unless there's some North American colony of capybaras in Appalachia, but that would still count as a cryptid, wouldn't it? Yeah, until somebody catches a capybara up here, I would still count as a cryptid by most standards. my comment section went nuts for this footage, and from there it spread to Twitter pretty fast. There were polls for days. I even had actual experts weighing in. It was all really cool experience. And it meant that the video did some pretty great numbers.
Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Sure, it's not like any local sanctuaries and we're missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of a sewer gator type situation.
Exactly. Some exotic pet owner set it free and now it will forever roam the Catawba, confusing Boy Scouts and YouTube commenters for years to come. So, speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to come along? It's a pretty easy one this week. We wouldn't even have to camp anywhere. I'm gonna go after the...
Wait, no spoilers.
Oops, sorry, Avery.
It's okay, I should probably get back to it instead of standing around chatting with friends. See y'all around.
Now that the coast is clear, I'm going after Skunk Ape. Skunk Ape.
That sounds like a meme.
What's a skunk ape? It's like Bigfoot, but smellier. Most skunk ape sightings are from Florida, but while I was doing research for last week's video, I came across reports where a lady from a town over claimed to have seen one on her deck, playing tug of war with her dog. And as I leave no stone unturned, I decided it was worth investigating. So what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against the darkening sky, that sort of thing? Sorry, I'm just taking sips of tea in between. My throat's starting to feel it a little. It's not like I have anything else going on. Sure, it's not like I have anything else going on. Such enthusiasm. It'll be fun, I promise. This was something I used to do with my middle school buddies all the time, and there was never a dull moment. That's actually how the channel got started. Me and Kanika and Reese running around in the woods, flipping over rocks and bothering salamanders. Our videos were terrible, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that mattered to us. You know, that gives me a thought. Since I've already invited another person along, it might be fun to extend the invitation to my old chums. See if we can't make it a little reunion special or something. Though I guess Kanika has to close out the general store tonight, so I'm pretty sure she's a no-go. But Reese, I think there's a decent chance we could get him to come out of his hidey hole if he's up for it. Do you mind if we make a quick call? Stella pulls out her phone and dials it waiting while it rings. Reese, dude, what's up? It feels like it's been forever. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to come by or... Okay, if you're really sure. But if you change your mind... Oh, I was just calling to ask if you wanted to come to the woods tonight. I met somebody cool in town today. They're Tabitha's cousin. I know, yeah, just here for the week. Anyway, we're going to look for Skunk Ape. We could take the easier trails if that would help. Dang, man, that sounds awful. I hope you take it easy tonight. I'll swing by sometime this week and we can have a more low-key hang. How's that? Yeah, I'll bring them. Talk to you soon. Bye, bud. It looks like it's just you and me, pal. Did he ask you to bring me to his house? Why? He's excited to meet you, of course. I think you'll find most folks in town are. Is he okay? He's not feeling well, that's all. He's had a lot going on in the past, gosh, 10 years or so, but I feel it's gotten a lot worse recently. Oh dear, does he have like a chronic illness or something? That's sad. I can't remember the last time I saw him leave his house. Oh, or is it more of a neat kind of situation? Oh well, it's not my place to talk about, really. I just got a little excited from thinking about having him along again. He's hilarious, you'd love him. We should swing by his place sometime this week. That'd be nice. I'd love to meet your friends. Awesome, and we'll make it happen. He's definitely the trickier one to meet. Kanika is much easier to track down since she's at the general store basically every day. But friendship can wait. They've got a skunk ape to hunt. So we should probably head out if we want to make it up to the mountain before it's too dark. Come on, let's blow this popsicle stand. How old are you? You pause before getting up. Maybe it's time to make a good first impression. I'll leave a tip.
You reach into your pockets and pull out a single crumpled dollar bill and a quarter. As long as you don't get sick of peanut butter and jelly, your meals would be free while you're here. Show the wealth where you've got it, you think to yourself. You leave the money on the table and follow Stella out of the diner. It hadn't been very cold when you first arrived in town, but as the sun dips closer and closer to the horizon, a chill descends upon the hollow, and you see your situation with renewed clarity. The background wide shots are nice in this, I enjoy those. You're in a new place, far from civilization and the people you know, following someone you just met into a dark forest in search of monsters. You feel strangely calm. The setting sun paints beautiful colors in the sky. Fresh air fills your lungs, and pleasant songs of crickets trill around you as the night descends. This is where you're supposed to be. With Stella by your side, a sweet smile on her face, and Gretchen plodding along in front without a care in the world. Gotta love this fall weather. This past summer was the hottest on record, since last year at least. You know how it is these days. Each summer is the hottest until the next summer, which always finds its way to be so much worse. That's called global warming, Stella. That is global warming, my friend. It's just nice to feel a chill in the air and see the leaves change like normalcy is restored, if only for a moment. Sorry, that was a bit of a bummer. We should talk about something more fun, like skunk apes. Is that more fun? What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in these woods? Other than anything cryptid related, of course. Oh gosh, that's a good one. Let me think. Well, there's always been the deer there's always the deer I saw stealing baby birds out of a nest and eating them. That was pretty messed up. But I think most people know about that these days. I've seen tons of videos of other deer doing it, so I'm not sure if it counts as weird anymore. Oh, Tetanus Lake. That's definitely the weirdest. It was a 5-foot deep, 30-foot wide pile of old cans and bottles and assorted garbage with grass and trees growing on it, so you could barely tell it was there until you stepped on it. It's practically solid ground with how much had been compressed, but you could still fall through if you weren't careful, hence the name. Better be up on your shots if you want to mess around in there. Ugh, God, I shiver just thinking about that. There's all stuff from the 50s too, which is super neat. I salvaged a few bottles I keep on my dresser as a little souvenir. Are you really expecting to find anything out here? Well, the chances we actually run into a skunk ape in just one night of filming. That's fair. We are hunting a creature that stayed hidden from humans long enough to gain a mythic reputation. What are the odds of something like that popping out to star in our little YouTube channel? But hey, the chances are never zero, right? Let's move on. Did you hear that? Oh, calm down, Gretchen, you old mutt. Same to you, Stella. Your eyes jumping to nothing, girl. Sorry for being jumpy, Duke. I thought you were some creature of the darkness. Nah, girlie, it's just old Duke. Now what the hell are you looking for all the way out here? Skunk ape? Sorry I asked. And who's this you sucking to coming with you? Way to take you hat. Is that... Yep. I see. Welcome to the holler. My condolences, I'll keep you in my prayers. Now, both of y'all head back to the town, you hear? It's your best you're still well clear of this area tonight. I'm out dealing with my own critter that won't be too appreciative of a couple of fools with a camera scare away the most sensitive wildlife. What are you hunting tonight? Something tall and hairy? Something musky? You see anything like that recently? Wouldn't you like to know? You can never stay in your business, Stella Richmond. Put that damn camera down.
I'm bad at old voices. I'm doing my best. Leave me alone.
Oh, come on, Duke. Maybe I could help out. I'm pretty good at tracking. You know I learned that from the best. You did. But I have yet to see a shred of proof that you listen to any of it. The way you tromp around the woods at night yelling about chunkin' bungers or what have you. Something's been getting at my chickens. I've lost 3 this week, and you can't afford to lose more than that. I'm sorry to hear that.
But, I wonder if Skunk Ape has a taste for chicken.
Now, see, this is why I don't come to you about these things. There ain't no skunk ape, whatever the hell that is. I know exactly what this is, but you won't believe me if I tell you.
Oh, Duke, you don't think it's...
I do, actually. It's those damn mountain lions. They're out there, Stella. I don't care what your little investigation turned up and you haven't been out in these woods as long as I have. These sons of bitches are sneaky. Of course, you wouldn't find any in one night of tracking. And I know for a fact that's what's been getting at my chickens. There wouldn't be anything else.
I'm telling you, man.
Oh God, switching between them is a nightmare.
I'm telling you, man. Mountain lions are extinct in these parts. There hasn't been an actual sighting since the 1990s, and even those are iffy.
I can't believe you go out here on your YouTubes, said some river monster spotted by a couple of school-age Boy Scouts has been 100% confirmed. Yeah, Appalachian cougars is some far-fetched fantasy made up by geezers like me. You made me look like a fool. I read those comments from people who were posting on your video. They were calling me all kinds of names. Just for seeing things with my own eyes that I know to be true.
Oh, I'm sorry, Duke. I didn't mean to sick anybody on you. I just don't think it's plausible.
You'll eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of those woods at dawn. And if you don't want a face full of buckshot, I suggest you run home and stay out of the woods tonight.
What? If you find the mountain lion, don't kill it. There are any in Appalachians that'd be highly endangered. Killing one might actually be a crime. At the very least, it'd be a crime against nature.
A crime? But what about the crimes that are committed against me and my chickens?
Well, too bad, loser. Keep it back cage.
Ain't murder one of the most crimes you could commit and to serve justice where it's due?
Okay, that's wild. That's wild. I definitely know people that treat animals on a pedestal that they would treat people, if not elevated. But doing that so you can murder one is interesting. That's wild. What a guy.
Keep an eye for an eye, life for a life.
That mountain lion killed to live. That mountain lion, if it is a mountain lion, killed to live. You're just killing for revenge. One is much worse than the other, if you're asking me. Why can't you let it be and get a bigger fence for your chickens or something?
I've already practically walled the things in. The damn cougars chewed the fence apart. They're killing my machines, and I gotta stop them before they take any more of my precious little ladies. My chickens are like family to me. I was there to see them hatch, and I can't stand to see another taken for a time.
But I gotta film tonight. The video needs to be out by tomorrow evening so it can keep on schedule. If I miss an update, I might lose my lead sponsor, HelloFresh. And who knows what that might mean for my career.
You ain't the only one on the schedule. As you know, my boy Bo and me were headed down to the state fair to show off Big Betty tomorrow morning. Well, we'll be gone there a whole week, so a chicken coop might as well have a big all-you-can-eat sign on it.
It's an interesting discussion to have. Rural places like this, livestock really has a much higher value than animals do outside of that context. Very true. I guess this is his livelihood specifically that is being killed off. That is definitely a separate problem. Fine. I see you won't be moved, and I respect that. Come on, Castor, let's go back to town. Maybe my viewers won't be too angry with me.
About time. Have a nice night, y'all.
As you and Stella return to the trail, she carefully looks back the way you came. Okay, the coast is clear. There's no way we're letting Duke edge us out that easily. You're blatantly gonna film anyway. Yes, I know, exactly. Come on, I know a trail that gets around him. Nuh-uh, no way. Not with Duke and his shotgun out there. I like having my head intact and not blown to pieces, thank you very much. Aw, you don't have to worry about old Duke. I've been tracking with him before. The man sounds like a truck crashing through the trees while he walks. Even if we do cross paths, we'll hear him long before he catches wind of us. That's a valid city dweller response. Yes! As a city dweller and somebody who has maybe seen a real operant gun on like under 20 times, the idea that there's some dude just running around in the woods in the dark with a shotgun, nope. No sir. I know what the US is like. I don't want to be shot out there. Farmer going around saying that he looked like a walking candy bar. Oh, fine. There's no shaking you, is there? Especially an angry old white man protecting his chickens. I mean exactly that. No thanks. I promise it'll be fun and safe. The trail's just up this way. Let's go. All right, this looks like a good shot. Mind holding the camera? She hands you the camera and takes position. Ahem. As night falls, my new assistant, the mysterious Caster, and I find ourselves on a high hill in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where we'll begin our hunt for the elusive yet pungent skunk ape. Though mostly encountered in Florida, this possible relative of Bigfoot has been spotted all along the southeastern edge of the United States, including right in this very country. He is hoping we get a glimpse tonight. We'll be back once we're on the trail. Until then, stay searching, Stellars. I can take that camera off your hands for now. We'll be able to start the tracking scenes once the sun sets all the way. In the meantime, we get to take in all this beautiful scenery. It's gorgeous out here, don't you think? Mood. Being this far from civilization stresses me out. I'm just being surrounded by endless distractions from the crushing weight of the universe. The people, exciting foods, towering skyscrapers standing as monuments to man's importance. I mean same. I mean absolutely same. Out here, I'm just reminded of how fragile my place in the cosmos is. Just how unimportant I am. This whole forest is but a speck in the universe, and I a tiny mote upon its surface. I am nothing. And if I fall to my death here, I'd be merely falling back into the nothingness. A fitting end to something as significant as a human life. Also, there are too many bugs. Stella reaches you out and pats you on the shoulder. We'll get you some more bug repellent when you stop for a rest. Your quiet moment with Stella is broken by a loud percussive snort. Well, here we go. Even the dog looked deeply concerned about being here. I mean, I guess pugs just look like that, but ugh. What was that? No need to panic. That's just the sound deer make when they want to warn the rest of the herd about big scary predators like us. Let's check it out. As you and Stella hear the footfalls of animals retreating into the woods, she reaches for her flashlight. Whoa! A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. And then it's gone. That sound effect. Jesus. Oh, is that the dog? Is it the dog squealing like that? Good lord. Jeez, Gretchen, calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself. She cannot handle deer. When she gets like this, I usually have to pick her up and hold her. She has a bad habit of slipping her harness when she wants to go after something. You're too much of a potato, and they don't make harnesses to fit potatoes, do they? There's something wrong with that deer. Did you see its face? Now that you mention it, there was something a little off. I bet it was an abscess, maybe a tumor. It's not like wild animals can get those taken care of, so they just get bigger and bigger. Poor thing. There's not much we can do about it. It's never too late to turn back. I don't actually think I'm cut out for this sort of thing. Those deer genuinely spook me, and I don't want you weighing me down. I don't know if you want me weighing you down. Something did seem off. I mean, yeah, that thing looked like a Resident Evil monster. Are you kidding? Don't be so hard on yourself. You just aren't accustomed to the sounds of the forest yet. When you go on your first few night hikes, everything sounds like some horrible monster that's just waiting for the opportunity to shred you to bits, but eventually you realize it's mostly deer and raccoons, which probably won't go after you. Here, let's take a quick snack break before we get to tonight's activities. Maybe some food will help settle your nerves. As you settle down to rest, Skylar breaks open a bag of assorted snacks. Trail mix extra M&Ms. I mean, nice. I like dried apricots and sesame sticks. I'm gonna take the dried apricots. You grab a handful of dried apricots. I actually dried these myself. I wound up getting a bunch of apricots for free from Janie a while back, and I didn't know what else to do with them. It's wild how easy it is to make your own dried fruit. Sounds fake. Cooking is never easy. I'd just burn my house down. That's neat. Thanks, Stella. Anytime. And as long as you're in town, don't worry about food. I've got you covered. You and Stella settle down on an overlook, snacks in hand, as the quiet sounds of evening wildlife wash over you. Gretchen gnaws on a stick, distracted for the time being. So tell me what it's like in Youngsburg. Do they have a house? Do you have a house, an apartment? Do you live with family, roommates, pets? Tell me what it's like to be Castor. I used to be that second option. It sucked. Never again. Never again. I mean, the closest is I live alone in a dingy studio apartment. And that's... I mean, dingy is maybe a little strong, but I like my new flat. But yeah. Dehydrating stuff is super simple. I bought a dehydrator to make jerky. Oh, nice. I live alone in a dingy studio apartment. And I love it. It's a little cramped, the lights flicker, the toilet's constantly getting backed up, and the lady upstairs keeps flushing her cat's litter. It smells like cigarettes for some reason, but it's mine. I mean, technically it's the landlady's, but I don't have to share it with anybody. It's a mess, but it's my mess, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, that's largely it. You know, that's a great way to look at things. I can't imagine what it'd be like to share your place with people you don't know. Speaking of, it's gotta be wild staying with Tabby for both of you. So, what do you do for a living? I build programmatic ads for companies I've heard of. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! I'm a streamer. I'm actually a streamer. Oh, no way! A fellow content creator, that's awesome. I knew we had a lot in common, Castor. What sort of streams do you do? I mean, I play video games. I mean, where is the lie? Let's get meta. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's get raw and personal in this live stream. That is the authentic content that the people want, TM. That's cool. I had to check out your channel sometime this week, and then she never did. Yes, that's right, Dr. Dragon's in. I play video games, queer ones. How do you like it? Ooh, all of these options are, remain silent, powerful. You let Stella's compliment hang gently over the sounds of nature. A crisp breeze passes over you. What about you? What's your living situation? Gretchen and I live in a little house just outside of town. It's actually the house I grew up in, and it has a lot of pleasant memories attached to it. I'm glad I could keep it in the family. My great-great-grandfather built the house, and he must have done a great job because it's just as sturdy as it's ever been. I'm sorry about your parents. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sorry about your parents, Stella. Nothing gets past you, huh? Yeah, they're not around anymore. They died a few years back. Everybody's parents be dead! But then I guess if this is a mining town and they worked in the mine, the odds that they would have died as an occupational hazard is actually really, really high. But it's alright. I've already done my morning. My mom died pretty recently, so I get it. It's alright if you ever need to talk about these things. Oh, thanks, Castor. That's really sweet of you. How are you holding up? I'm okay, hanging in there. It was a long time coming, so it wasn't a surprise. I kind of come to terms with it by the time it actually happened. It's not all bad. She doesn't have to be in pain anymore. That's a relief. The hospital bills are another story, though. Eesh, I can't even imagine how bad that must be. It's just salt in the wound at that point. Whoa. Stella immediately packs her bag and slings it over her shoulder. I could hear all other sorts of wildlife just a second ago, and now it's quiet. You're right. Whatever made that sound is close. Here, hold Gretchen's leash for me and check this out. You and Stella inch towards the tree line as she shines her flashlight into the woods. As you approach, a series of weak clucks call out from a nearby bush. Maybe the Duke's birds weren't eaten after all. Oh, that's also suffering. What the hell was that? Hold on, I gotta play that back. Holy shit. I'm guessing it must be 2, 3 feet tall? It doesn't look hairy either, so I think we can rule out that skunk ape. But whatever it is, it has one of Duke's chickens. Like, it had one? And it wasn't part of it? It looks like it's heading north. Let's go after it. Let's just follow Stella. Let's not say anything. It was holding it. It looked kind of like it was a tumor that was part of it, but that was interesting, okay. And you follow Stella as she sprints into the unknown, Gretchen excitedly pulling you along by her leash. Oh, there it is. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. I just tripped on something weird. Oh no, that poor thing, it must have been one of Duke's. Oh, Jesus, it's still alive. Investigate the chicken. Yeah, weird tumor. You move towards Stella to get a closer look at the chicken. Don't let Gretchen too close. She'll try and take a bite if you don't stop her. You hold Gretchen's leash close to your chest. She seems nervous, squirming slightly against the harness. Good God. At first you thought it might have been a tumor, but this is something else. The skin is stretched taut, the growth pulsing underneath. Looking more closely at the growth, you think you can see something. This looks like it's what Stella slipped on. The wing is barely still and attached. The wing is barely still attached, but that seems to be the least of the chicken's concerns. Its poor little chicken eyes look up at you, glazed over, but still rolling around in their sockets with unfortunate life. Having investigated to your heart's content, you turn away to give Stella room to film. Ahem. It seems we found one of Duke's chickens, folks, and she's not looking good. I'm hesitant to speculate, but she definitely seems to have some sort of growth under her skin. Could this be a tumor? Could it be something else? Either way, I don't think there's much that can be done for her at this point. Jeez, I'm gonna have to put up some massive content warnings for this video. Hey, do you hear that? What in the Sam Hill are you two doing out here? Didn't I tell you to... Birdie? Oh, Birdie, what's wrong, darling? Good God. Did y'all see what did this to her? Duke, we're on the same team here. We both want to know what happened to Bertie as much as you do right now, but we'll get to the bottom of this, I promise. We were on the trail when we found her, like this. Whatever did this to her, I think we can hear them in the trees. Put that camera away, for God's sake, girl. I don't want to hear another of your video. Won't want to be in another of your videos. No one needs to see me like this. No one needs to see Birdie like this. You wouldn't put her online, would you? No one did. She's like this, all swollen and hurting. Duke, did you hear me? I think they're coming closer. Come out, you sons of bitches. Sorry, I'm still peeking. Let me turn that down a bit more. Duke, don't shoot them. We have no idea what will happen. You hear that, Stella? They ain't the sound of something peace-like. Whatever these things are, they'll pay for what they did to one of my girls. Come on, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and have me line up and get a shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. You dive forwards and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder. I would normally go for the flashlight, but I'm trying my best to not be grossed out by dogs today. So, we're saving the dog today. God damn! Oh shit! You hear a body hit the ground, and then quiet as the chaos fades and the sounds of nature creep back in. Gretchen? Castor? Duke? Are you alright? No, I'm not okay. But I'm not shot if that's what you're asking. You? I'm okay. Gretchen whines and shakes in your arms. Gretchen, here, I'll take care of my poor little pup. Thanks for watching out for her. Why did you take the dog with you? Just a liability. Duke? Are you okay? Oh. Oh my God. Duke. Holy shit. What do you do now? What the hell are we supposed to do? What do you mean, what do we do? Duke had a hunting accident by himself in the woods. That's it. Are you serious? We have footage of exactly what happened here. Sure, it's a little dark and shaky, but you can kind of make out that thing coming out of the woods. We can take it to the police. Duke's family deserves closure. Other people deserve to know what's out here. I don't trust cops. Thank you, video game. Thank you for this blessing of a thing to say. I don't trust cops. They always go for the easiest explanations, and in this case, that's me. Yes! Also this. We had a conversation scant 15 minutes ago about me wandering around in these woods where we have an old white dude with a gun. I'm target number one. There's a black person. God. And then we get the cops involved? No siree. Not today. God. Oh, goodness me. They aren't going to entertain a little story about cryptids and tumorous growths when there's a stranger from the big city visiting town who was here to see the murder, but was suspiciously out of frame when the supposed creature attacked. You're right. This whole thing is hard to believe. We need more footage. Excuse me. Come on, let's go after them before we lose our chance. Are you nuts? A man is dead, Stella. Yeah, you're right. Let's head back to town and regroup. As you and Stella quickly make your way back through the woods, the unearthly whispers of creatures unknown once again surround you. Oh God, they're back. I know. We just have to keep pushing forward. We're almost there. As you and Stella reach the main road, the whispers fade back into the sounds of nature. It sounds like they've stopped following us. Are you sure we shouldn't call the cops? Yes, I'm goddamn sure. They're only gonna make things worse. Okay, but we've got to take this to someone. My friend's mom knows all sorts about supernatural stuff, and she's usually up at this hour. Let's head over to her place.
Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Now that you're back on the main road, you must finally be getting reception again. 6 missed calls from Tabitha. And 13 text messages. You try and call Tabitha back, but it goes straight to voicemail. You text Tabitha back and let her know you're okay. Your message sits unread. You slide your phone back into your pocket. You can deal with Tabitha later.
Shall we?
I should probably check in on Tabitha. What kind of millennial are you calling somebody back?
I mean, I was somewhere without signal for a really long time. If somebody phone calls you, then it's usually urgent. Or at least I try to maintain my phone. If somebody calls me, it's actually important. My friend's place is on the way back, and stopping by shouldn't take long. Are you sure you don't want to stop in first? She makes a killer herbal tea. I know I wouldn't want to head up that mountain by myself after everything that's happened tonight. You sigh in resignation. It'll be worth it. Let's go. I want to see what the 13 texts are actually about. On the screen, it might be a little too small to see on how I've got it on stream. But it was all kind of like, where are you? Answer your phone, like that kind of thing. So this is just small enough, large enough where I could actually read it. I hope she's still awake. Stella knocks on the door. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a shadowy figure staring at you from across the road. You didn't hear it approach. You tap Stella's shoulder and suddenly direct her gaze to the shadows. Jesus. Welcome home. Before you can respond, the door behind you swings open. An older woman stands in the entryway. Go home, Wayne. I can't help you tonight. You look back, but the figure is already gone, disappeared into the shadows of the night. I'm sorry about that, Stella. Some people can't be helped. Let's give her more of a posh voice, shall we? For a bit of range for my own sake. What brings you out here so late? Who's this? Hi, Mrs. Forsyth. This is Castor. Is it okay if we come in? Of course. You're in luck. I just put on water for hibiscus tea. And for goodness sake, you can call me Sybil. You're an adult now, after all. Welcome to my little nook. It's nice to finally meet you, Castor. I was so sorry to hear about your mother. Vivian was such a lovely soul, and she's been sorely missed in the horror. And now poor Pearl Ann is gone as well. Do let me know if there's anything you need while you're in town. Who's that outside? Just a very sick man. You don't need to be worried about him. Well, do I? You knew my mum? Of course, dear. She was a good friend of mine for many years. She was such a lovely woman. You should come by sometime. I can delight you with unsavory tales from her youth. I never did meet Pearl Ann. You don't have to pass on your condolences to me. I have no feelings about that woman. That's fair, child, but it seemed like the right thing to do. We need your help. Yes. I suppose pleasantries can wait for another time. What's got you here so late? You seem troubled. You know about weird stuff, right? Unexplainable stuff? I'm not so sure I follow, dear. I know which oils are used for which aches. I know a bit about classical spiritualism. Just what sort of inexplainable things are you talking about? Duke was killed tonight by something in the woods. Oh my lord. Have you contacted the police? No. It just didn't seem believable. That's why we came here first. Those things out there. I don't even know how to describe them. I can't say I know much about local wildlife. My daughter has always had a brighter gift for nature than I. This wasn't the local wildlife, Mrs. Forsyth. Here, I can show you. Stella pulls out her camera and turns the screen towards Sybil. Oh. Where was this? Up the mountain to the northwest. Within town limits. Yes. I see. Is there a way to make the video bigger? And louder if you can. I need to plug in the memory card into a computer. I could go back to mine. No need. Kanika should still be awake. She can lend us hers. You'd better come with, Stella. I'm sure she'll be more than willing to help a friend to learn her nosy mother. Kanika, come out. We could use a little help. What, Mom? Oh. Hey, Stella. And Gretchen, who's a good potato? The stranger? What are you doing, Mother? What are you doing in my house? Yes, she has more of this, but her mother is a bit more up here. There we go. We've got to give actual separation between the two. What are you doing in my house? I was helping Stella with a video in the woods, and something terrible happened. Tabitha's cousin? Yep. Sweetie, we were wondering if we could borrow your laptop. Sarah and her friend have a video to show us. It's really important, Kanika. Okay. My room's a mess. I'll just bring it out here. Oh, this is actually quite loud. Hold on. Beats, though. Heads up, Kanika. This is graphic. Dude got killed out in the woods tonight. It's on the recording. Wait, are you serious? Duke's dead? We can watch this without you. You know I have a higher stock than any of our friends. I'm pressing play. Silence washes through the room as the video plays. Stella, what is all this? She has a Sailor Moon t-shirt, of course. And Batwing in her do-rag. Nice. I actually got a silk bonnet in the mail recently, so I respect that she's treating her hair right. She's treating her hair right. I'm sorry either of you had to see this, but Castor and I have no idea how to make heads or tails of it. Stella, are you okay? Did you get hurt? I'm fine, really. I'm okay. You remain silent. Poor Duke. Poor Beau. Has anyone told him yet? Right now, we're just trying to pull ourselves together. I'll call him later. I'll call him later tonight. But for now, we have something far more serious to discuss. I agree. These things are still out there. As long as they are, more people are in danger. So very true, but not for the reasons you think. These things, my grandmother called them ditchlings. They're a terrible omen. A sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Mom, come on. Whatever's doing this is serious. Stop scaring Stella and Castor with this Tylipo crap. The man just died. Have some respect. Kanika, sweetie, let your mother talk. These creatures themselves are harmless to people, despite the grisly scene in the woods. How can you say that? Duke is dead. An unfortunate accident and nothing more. Just as birds flock before a storm, the ditchlings congregate where tragedy is soon to fall. To see one is to be cursed by fate. Jesus, Mom, they've clearly had a rough night. They don't need this. It's okay, Kanika, this is helpful. Stella, whatever those things are, they aren't magic. We can't rule that out, not after what we saw. But fine, let's focus on what we know. Whatever they are, they're doing something to these animals. You saw that chicken in our video. What was that growth? I saw something squirming around in that chicken. Maybe it was some sort of parasitic larval stage, part of the life cycle. I don't want to just jump to any conclusions about something about this, but something about this is out there. Not without doing some research. I'm sorry. Let me actually read what the text says. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions about something that's out there. Not without doing some research or talking to a biologist. I'm sure there's a rational explanation that'll clear all. I'm sure there's some rational explanation that'll clear all this up. Oh dear. Entirely forgotten about the tea I'd put on. Let me fix you up a couple of cups. That'll help soothe your nerves. I don't know. It's getting late and I should let Caster get some rest. I ran them ragged today with all the hiking and running through the woods in terror. I mean, none of these are like, I have to go and contact the person that I'm staying with who is clearly concerned about me. Yeah, I'm about ready to pass out. Thanks for the help, Sybil. It was nice to meet you, Kanika. Sorry I had to be set under such weird circumstances. Hopefully the next time we meet will be a little less terrifying. We should hang out this week, Kanika. Maybe we could even get Reese to chill with us. I could really use it, but for now, thank you both so much for everything. Let me get you some of my house-made peppermint tea to go. It really does wonders to soothe the soul. Bye, Stella. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Call me if you need to talk. Thanks, Kanika. I'll see ya. Bye, Caster. It's excellent iced or warm. Although with the nights getting chillier, warm will probably be for the best. Helps wake the bones. Be careful out there, both of you.
Sybil turns and closes the door behind her.
Alrighty, let's head back home. My home, I mean. Okay.
We're still ignoring these calls, huh?
And we're here. You're welcome to stay the night if you want. I should probably head back and check on Tabitha. That's sweet of you. Are you sure you're okay heading back up that mountainside alone?
Silently nod.
Well, I won't stop you if you really want to go back. Here's my number. Call me when you get there, okay? Good luck. You and Stella exchange phone numbers. I'll see you tomorrow.
All of these options are awful. Like, that's not really what I'm going to say, so I'm going to say nothing. You say nothing in response.
Stay safe, buddy.
You begin the long hike back up to the Scarlet Estate alone. Almost home. You've made it. Your salvation in sight, you make a mad dash to the door. As you reach for the doorknob, the door swings open.
Her voice was here. Her voice was around here, I think. Where the hell have you been? I called you back as soon as I had reception. Did you? I didn't notice. Look, I'm gonna be earnest about it. Look, I got suckered into something. Sorry to worry you. This Stella girl had me come with her on this night, hike to find cryptids. So you met Stella then. Ugh, that explains everything. She's gotten you all worked up. I'm going to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Good night.
You're alone in the estate. The sound of whistling through the house gives you an uneasy feeling in your gut. It's probably best to turn in and try to leave the night behind you. As you settle into your room, you remember that Stella asked you to call her once you got back. You pull out your phone and call.
Hey, how are you?
She sounds a little
Hey, how are you? She sounds a little different, like she's been crying. Did you make it back all right? Yeah, how are you? Are you okay? Totally fine. I mean, fine as I could be, I guess. You don't have to worry about me. Go get some Z's, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. From the relative safety of this uncomfortable bed, the events of the past evening seem like something happened to somebody else. Seem like something that happened to somebody else. That you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. But now, you're safe and warm. Eventually, the sun will rise and chase away the monsters, make them seem like nothing but bad dreams. Maybe tomorrow, if you're lucky, you'll wake up in the normal world and have a boring week in the mountains with your sour-faced cousin. It's a nice thought, but deep down, you can't help but worry that things will only get worse. Ooh. Oh, and you get an opening. So moody. Oh. Not the bloodstain, though. Yo. Scarlet Hollow. That was great. I enjoyed that a lot. That was lots of fun. I think because we've been going for 2 hours, and because I think that if I tried to go for another hour, my voice might start to go. We're just gonna like swoosh back on over here. Hello. Oh, we are gonna do. Well, there's a couple of things we're gonna do. We're going to. Please save your game now. Empty slot. Saved. Fantastic. We're gonna go close that. Yes. And let's go pick some tunes, some other tunes to listen to, because I want a wide range of tunes today. I feel in a very tunesy mood. Now I need to check if this is the thing that I actually want or not. No. Okay, not quite the one I want. There is a specific one that I want, and I want to see if I can find it. And I would normally have these things really well archived, but apparently today is not that day. Might be because I have it elsewhere. Oh, honestly though. While I'm kindly finding some delightful tunes to listen to, I hope everybody. How did we feel about? Yes. This gives us some time to have a discussion about how we felt about that session, because that was I had a whole lot of fun with that. It managed to. I was a bit concerned early on with the peanut butter sandwich making. whether we would get to the spine-tingling content. But we did, and it was very, very good. And I am very glad that I got to get to more horror than I was expecting. I was not expecting. I definitely was not expecting somebody to get fully shot on camera in a visual novel that's not necessarily out of tone of things. You know, horror visual novels are a thing. Seeing a little bit of gore is definitely a thing. Let's go for this one. Yeah, there we go. Go for some Masafumi Takada. But yes, now that we have completed a little play session, I always like to have a little bit of a chat about some of the ideas that we could take away from the game that we just played, because I feel that you can be inspired by a wide range of things. Broadening your horizons with the types of games that we play can help inspire you in your other creative exploits. Whether you are making video games yourself, or writing stories, or designing tabletop RPG stuff like I am, you can find inspiration from all sorts of places. So, what are the ideas to take away from here, huh? I think there's a lot to be said. My typing is awful, apparently. About the balance between a gentle easing into horror and keeping the pacing tight. Because feasibly, I could have, read through all the explore text and added at least another hour onto my playtime, right? I was kind of cognizant of the fact that I would want to kind of keep things moving, but not being so hitting the next step of the story that I miss like world details, because sometimes those word details is what gives the game its atmosphere, you know? And I'm actually quite glad that it gave us that nice bit of horror in the first chapter, rather than having us have to wait for a while. I can think of other, when I think of horror visual novels, unfortunately Song of Sire comes to mind, and Song of Sire is not a game I would recommend to many people for a variety of reasons. At least definitely not with the mature filter off. Some of the subject matter and graphics are actually quite horrendous, but it is very quick actually to introduce the horror in a way that is clever, but it's a lot and comes at you quite quickly. And then on the other hand, you have something like Dramatical Murder, which has really grisly bad ends. We talked a little bit of bad ends before we started playing, and that has some really existential as well as kind of like spooky horror bad ends in it. But you don't see them for a really long time. You play that game for a good 5 hours maybe before you actually see something truly spooky. So this game had a nice balance in terms of pacing. I really liked that. That was cool. That was really cool. I also enjoyed, even though it's a small thing, even though it's a small thing, additional optional dialogue from your talents make things feel just that little more personal, especially since they went to the lengths of, letting you set your own name and pronouns. It did a lot to, I think, help put yourself into the story. I was initially kind of like, oh, well, what happens if it's pretty clear that I look like my cousin. And obviously, if this game is supposed to be a self-insert character, I am not white, so we can't look that alike. But she is my cousin, so yeah, who knows where and how everybody's related in that regard. But we ran across a family in the latter half of it where it seemed that the mother and daughter were of different ethnic backgrounds. So interesting, you know. It might be the kind of game that has there's that, like, the 90s, such a random pull, especially when talking about a horror game, but bear with me. In the 90s, there was a live action version of Cinderella that had pop singer Brandy as Cinderella, who's a black woman, and like an Asian American guy as like the prince. It was like really specific. Her parents were of different races, were of different race to her. Like, it was very specifically a race-blind casting. And actually, genuinely, it wasn't weird at all. Part of it was because it's a well-known fairy tale and in the realms of it being very storybook, so you didn't have to think too hard about lineages, but it was really effortless race-blind casting. So maybe this game does that. I don't know. I'm actually really interested in learning more about the relationships between all these characters. Apparently, there is like a dating sim subcurrent underneath, and you could kind of tell from how Stella talks and reacts to you. You can definitely oh, thank you for the follow, Ali in the Alley. I really appreciate it, thanks. You can definitely tell that there are some options where you could start to flirt with her if you wanted to. Not when we're running away from monsters, or even before the monsters, really. But as I understand, there were dating vibes from Avery in the diner as well. Yes, exactly. Yes. There was a lot of gently hovering around your table with his shirt just open. Bare chest out, serving you coffee. Doesn't matter if he gets singed, she's used to it. All that exposed skin. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm glad that it is. So that is actually a thing that I think a lot of modern dating sims should kind of hit. I see a lot of visual novels now. Visual novel dating sims do this hit, where if the main character is somebody who isn't on camera, letting you set the pronouns, and then also letting you date a wide variety of genders, and that's nice. That's cool. I appreciate that. Sometimes the story that you're telling is about a specific person that isn't you, person sitting down playing the video game, and that is also fine. I think I sometimes enjoy video games that have a really defined sense of who the character is and that person not being you, because then they get to put the additional effort into writing them, right? My dialogue options were all pretty broad, and I could kind of respond in a wide variety of ways, and it's clearly supposed to be how the person playing, would answer. But also, I ran into some instances where I look at all of those answers and none of them were really what I would say. And they tactically gave me the option to just say nothing, which is usually what I picked when I figured that all the spoken options were awful. So yeah. They thought about that. But yeah, I mean, that opening chapter definitely got me in. I love the title theme. The title theme that starts off all kind of like banjos and countryside-y, and then the kind of like 80s horror synth comes in underneath. Yeah, I'm into that shit. Amazing. So I strongly recommend giving this game a whirl. Let me go and get a link to the game to post in the doobly-doo, so you can obtain it for yourself. Yes. It is here both in the chat and on the screen. Fantastic. Yes. I think that's all that we're going to have time for today. I would normally do a what does this urban fantasy game say about city life? This is a game very specifically distanced from city life, so I don't think that would necessarily be one to answer in this instance, but I'm glad that everybody had a fun time with me. Let me go and do what we normally do at the end of streams when I'm paying attention and doing my job properly, and go see who we can raid. Let's see here. Oh, Master Banana VT is streaming World of Horror, and World of Horror is one of my favorite horror roguelike games. We are absolutely going to raid them. So we're going to Marshall Banana VT, an amazing digital demon VTuber who I enjoy. I have been your androgynous android game show host from the Future Caster. This has been the Neon Caster Twitch channel, and I'll see you all again